Welcome to the Minecraft Bedrock Edition beta and preview version 1.20.20.21, where we have some huge Minecraft Java parity features. Daywell's Megaspud, Minecraft Community Manager, had this to say. Happy Wednesday. We have a new Minecraft beta and preview rolling out today with some cool stuff, which includes player sleeping percentage game rule. They updated the recipe search, but also block breaking time parity for 188 blocks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, strap in because we have a lot of cool features to go through. I ask you kindly to leave a like on today's video. Let's see if we can get 5,000 likes. No time to waste. Let's get into this week's features and bug fixes. Recipe book search. This is very important, so listen carefully. The recipe book search has been updated when playing in survival with the following changes. The search will only match the beginning of any word in the item's name. For example, searching for TOR will now show torch and redstone torch, but not daylight detector. As you guys know, daylight detector at the end has TOR. Meanwhile, redstone torch and normal torch, TOR is the beginning. So for example, if we open up this and we type in TOR as an example, it's going to show us the likes of your torch, the likes of a soul torch, and the likes of a redstone torch. Meanwhile, anything else that does have TOR in, like the detector rail, that's not going to pop up anymore. And the reason for this, well, let me explain. It says, search will now work better together with the recipe unlocking system. The recipes that haven't been unlocked will show up in search results. It does say this change will enable experienced players to find items they are looking for, even if they haven't been unlocked yet, while not overwhelming new players with recipes they aren't yet ready for. So again, this is going to pinpoint for specific players. If again, we use torch, for example, if you play Minecraft for a very long time and you are looking for torches, it's just going to show you the specific ones, and you know what you're going to get. And if you're a new player or you're not an experienced player, but you are still looking for torches, you are not going to be overwhelmed in this section with tons of different items available. So I really like this change. Once again, this is just to narrow down the searches to make things easier for new players and experienced players. So if we just type in CAR, for example, well, you're either searching for a carpet or maybe a carrot, maybe carrot on a stick, or maybe a cartography table. Really good change. Also, these changes are planned for both Bedrock and Java Edition, but they are still being tweaked, and we definitely want to hear your feedback. Let's read the changelog. For anyone who wants to leave any feedback on this situation, I'll leave a link to this page in the description. The developers have been using this quite a lot recently. They used it for recipe unlocking, where people basically said the recipe unlocking sound doesn't sound as good as it does on Java. The developers changed it, and that's what we have now on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So if you do have any inputs, make sure you leave your feedback. Talking about recipe unlocking is no longer an experimental feature, but can still be turned on and off per world. However, there is a known issue. The recipe unlock option toggle is missing from the Create New World screen, but can be found and enabled in the Edit World screen after a world has been created. We hope to have this issue addressed soon. Let me explain. We are currently using this world right here. It's already been created. Now, when we go inside of here and we scroll down, there is now a new world option toggle, which is called Recipes Unlock. Now, the interesting thing here is when I pre-created this world, this was off by default. So you might actually have to turn it on. Now, as you guys know, whenever you create a brand new world, these options are usually available inside of the likes of your advanced, where you can turn them off and on. The exact same way with a bonus chest or a starting map or coordinates, etc. So So I imagine this toggle is going to be inside of here. At the moment, it's not possible. You have to create a world, back out, and turn it on that way. However, good news, the experiments, it's no longer an experimental feature. The current only experimental feature right now is the crawling. Allows players to crawl under 1 block gaps. That's the only one we have available. I noticed this yesterday. Recipe unlocked message is no longer visible on the pause menu. So if we just grab this, for example, we go inside of here and we create this. If I went inside of here, it would actually overlay on your settings. Actually doing that seems to get rid of it completely. But I noticed this yesterday in the full release. It's no longer going to pop up here if you're in your menus. Recipe unlocking notifications now fit text in different languages. Recipe unlocked notification text no longer bleed out of the screen. We have a bug report. So this is both of those issues. Translated toast recipe unlocked content is cut off and unreadable. Again, in different languages, it would do that. And it would actually kind of go off on the right-hand side. It's now been shifted over to the left. Accessibility features fixed an issue where screen narration would read recipe book folder items as the first item in the folder. Screen narration now informs the user immediately after they change sliders and toggles. Moving on to mob changes. Camels now play the same stepping sound when walking on red sand, suspicious sand, and concrete powder blocks as they do when they're walking on regular sounds. So, our good old friend, Mr. Humphrey here, yep, you just showed off right now. It now sounds like normal when you're walking on this, or this, or in fact, concrete. They now all sound the same. This is the biggest change in today's video. Block breaking. Listen carefully. We have adjusted the breaking times of 188 blocks to match Java Edition and our intended design. Some blocks couldn't be changed yet for technical reasons, and Obsidian was left unchanged because we are still deciding what breaking speed it should have. Now, for those who are not sure, I believe it takes a lot longer to break Obsidian on Java compared to Bedrock Edition. Anyway, bringing more blocks to parity makes it easier for our team to keep both versions up to date. We also hope it will be easier for the community to make and share guides that work for all players on all platforms. That's a really, really, really good change. They're bringing Minecraft Bedrock and Java closer on parity. Whenever you watch a tutorial, for example, on YouTube, it is going to be somewhat the same, whether you watch it on Java or, in fact, Bedrock. Let's read the changelog. I will leave a link to this page in the description, and you can go through all 188 yourself. But I want to explain a couple of things here because these times are slightly off. I mean, they're not wrong. They're just slightly off because Bedrock and Minecraft has something called hardness. Anyway, it says block destroy time changes full list. So we're going to use bamboo, for example, here. The destroy time previously on Bedrock was 2. It's now 1. That being 2 seconds, and it's now 1 second. As you guys know, breaking bamboo compared to Java was a lot slower. This is like 0.5 seconds to 0.7. Now, I was using the bell, for example, because previously on Bedrock, breaking a bell was classed as 1 second. It's now 5 seconds. And I was asking tons of questions on social media, and I finally got the answer that I needed. Huge shout out to this person who said, the wiki describes hardness as having a 6-tick delay between each block broken. So, a 5-second break is actually 5 plus 3/10 out of a second, or close to 6 seconds, I imagine. And he posted the wiki page. I'll leave a link to this page in the description as well, but as it says here, blocks by hardness. Now, if we scroll down, these are all the values for breaking times in Minecraft. So, for example, we're going to be focusing on the default, which is what it takes when you're breaking it with a hand. Now, for example, we know Bedrock is infinite because you cannot break Bedrock. And I just want to scroll down to the bell right here. So the actual more pinpointed, accurate result of breaking a bell is actually 25 seconds. None of this changes from 1 second to 5 seconds. This page right here will give you the correct values that you need to know. And again, it's definitely worth reading, especially if you like to do something like speedrunning or you're just curious in general. Obviously, we're not going to go through all 188 changes, but things like the composter was previously 2 seconds. It's now classed as 0.6. The coral block was previously 7 seconds. It's now 1.5. Now, some have got faster braking times. Some have longer braking times, but this is to better match Java and Bedrock. Now, if we go a little bit further, again, not all of these have been done. So it does say remaining parity brakes. So things like this are going to be fixed and changed in the near future. I know it sounds a little bit confusing because it did for me when I was first reading it. But anyway, it's a lot easier to break something like bamboo now. The time has now been improved, and that's something that a lot of Minecraft Bedrock players have wanted for a long time. Now, like I said, when it comes to breaking this, it takes a very long time. They said 5 seconds. Well, if we were to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can clearly see that's not 5 seconds. It is what is described as around 25 seconds. And by the time we break this, I think 25 seconds would probably be more accurate. So yeah, again, you're going to have to go between the data values or the time values that the developers have gave us, but also the hardness page. Again, I'd have to go back and count that. But yeah, things like campfires, apparently these are a little bit easier to break now. And well, you can see the composter. There's a very, very big difference in speed with this. Now, we've just been doing the default, which is classed as your Minecraft player hand. Obviously, the further you go down, the likes of a bell, well, if you're using a wooden pickaxe, the speed is a lot shorter. Again, with the likes of stone, iron, diamond, etc., the times do get reduced the further you go across. So technically, breaking times will also change when you're using a pickaxe. Moving on to gameplay changes. They added the player sleeping percentage game rule. We have a bug report. Here is the bug report. It's been requested for a very long time. As it says down here, it should be there in Bedrock, as Java Edition has had it since 20W51A. Now, for those unsure about this, this is all to do with how many people sleep and then it turns daytime on servers and realms in your single player worlds. So a brand new game rule has been added, /game rule, and then you do player, and it says the percentage. I believe this can be anywhere between 1 and 100. Now, we're just going to set this to like 10, for example. It does say a 0 or a negative value will only require one player to sleep to skip the night. So if we did have it at 0, or if we did have it at a negative value, so let's say we set this to, -1, for example, and we had 10 people in this server, and it was nighttime, right? Only one of you now needs to get into a bed and sleep, and every single person in this world will then experience daytime. One person sleep pattern. This has been like a popular add-on for a very long time. You're no longer going to need an add-on for this to be possible. When set to over 100, the nighttime cannot be skipped. Fixed held map not being centered when playing on narrow aspect ratio screens. It is once again possible to use bone meal underwater on sand, dirt, gravel, and clay. So yeah, you can now put it on these blocks again. Sand, you can put it on regular, that's grown on its own. Anyway, you can now do this if you really wanted to. They have fixed an issue where beginning to swim while hitting the sneak button could cause the sneak button to be held down until swimming ends. Potions are no longer thrown backwards when looking up. We have a bug report. So apparently this has been an issue for quite some time. In fact, near enough 1 year. We do have a video from this user right here. I'm going to mute this because it is buggy. But when this person throws it, it goes completely behind them. That doesn't happen anymore. And we can run this test ourselves. So if we were to look up like this, as you can see, it's now thrown into the air and it hits you rather than going behind you. Campfires within trail ruins are no longer lit by default. We have a bug report. Reported for a few versions. I wonder how long that fire has been going for. But yeah, you're no longer going to find these lit by default in your Minecraft world. Pink petals can now be fertilized by dispensers. So we have bone meal inside of here. Hit this once. Hit this twice. Hit it again. And I think that's it, right? It's 4 at a time. Yeah, that one's just going to... Oh, that one's just going to duplicate it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, but now that works. Shulker boxes mined without a pickaxe no longer take a long time to mine. So mining one of your shulker boxes now is going to be a lot quicker. I wonder if this is to do with the change that we've just went over. It does also say falling blocks now break and drop their item when falling on a cocoa bean. So we change our game mode to this and we do 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, they've all broken off. Projectiles now sink into top snow just like mobs do. So if we grab this, this is the top snow block. They now look a little bit sunken in rather than not looking sunken in. So you can kind of see the top of the trident is in and the top of the arrow is in. Moving on to graphical changes. Fixed screen fade when sleeping in a bed to no longer go fully opaque. Name tag rendering logic is now based on camera position rather than player position. Talking about players, player changes. Fixed an issue where players would disappear temporarily when joining a game for the first time. Stability and performance. Added alerts for iOS users who have run out of disk space. Fixed crash in blocks.json loading on iOS. Fixed a crash that could occur when the game lost focus while entering a world. Storage. Addressed out of storage errors and texture corruption on Xbox in large worlds. We have a bug report. So this is the bug report. To be honest with you, I had the out of storage issue on Windows. It wasn't just Xbox, but anyone who consistently had this issue, they are saying today it was finally fixed. User interface, the lapis lazuli icon in the enchantment table now matches the one in the smithing table screen. So they're talking about this right here, which kind of looks like a coffee bean. If we put this and this inside of here and it starts to cycle through lapis, which is this one right there, it now matches this symbol. Large enchantment labels in the enchantment table screen are no longer blocked by overlaid items in the inventory. Moving on to vibrations. Skulk sensors and skulk shriekers no longer risk losing vibrations when receiving them around the simulation distance limits. Vibrations no longer produce when stopping the use of items while sneaking. Wardens now detect items hitting the ground. We have a bug report. So here is the bug report, and this is what it's like on Minecraft Java Edition. So if you have a warden and you drop an item, it can detect the actual item and go to that location. Meanwhile, on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, this is what it's been like. If you dropped an item, it didn't detect it. So yeah, wardens are a little bit more powerful now. If I was to get a warden and I was to put this warden down, throw this over there, as you can see, it's now gonna pinpoint the exact location of the block. Skulk sensors now send a signal to skulk shriekers when detecting items hitting the ground. Very similar to that, but the skulk will then tell the shrieker. Also, technical updates. Let's read the change log. Huge amounts of technical update changes today, including add-ons, commands, also changes to the editor API. Now, something really interesting here inside of items is this right here. Released the Minecraft allow _ hand item components, which is now out of experimental in JSON formats, which is going to be 1.20.20. So you're going to need this update. So this might actually pave the way for creators and add-on creators to make offhand mods, add-ons, and really, really cool stuff. So I think this is a very, very big one. There's also been tons of Molang changes and API changes. If you are interested in the technical side, apart from this right here, then the changelog is down below. And that is all I have for you in today's video. Guess what? No animals or mobs or villages ruined today's video. So if you made it this far and you're still watching, I want you guys to confuse everyone else in the comment section and just say, oh wow, Echo, I can't believe that happened. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Hey, you can now book me on Cameo. Link is down below.